am a 35-year-old man, and I have not spoken to my sister, who is 28 years old, in about 5 years. The beginning of our falling out traces back to when I got married. My wife, who had been looking forward to our wedding day for what felt like an eternity, had asked my sister to be one of her bridesmaids. It was a significant gesture, a chance to foster family bonds, and to make my sister an integral part of our special day. However, to our surprise, my sister turned her down. My wife took my sister's decision quite personally, feeling hurt and rejected by what seemed to her like a stark refusal to be involved in such an important moment of our lives. Tension began to rise, and ultimately, after much deliberation and persuasion from her close friends, my wife made the very difficult decision to disinvite my sister from the wedding entirely. It was her way of drawing a boundary, of saying that on a day meant to be filled with love and family unity, she could not endure the presence of someone who had dismissed her in that way. Since that day, my sister and I have had absolutely no contact. Life has continued to move forward in those 5 years. I've welcomed 2 wonderful children into the world, yet my sister has never met them. My wife and I both, wrapped in the layers of past hurt, have mutually decided that having my sister in our lives is not something we want or need. The scars of that initial rejection have long faded to the eye, but remain deeply etched in how we choose to move through family dynamics today. Earlier this year, our dad, who had always been a central figure in our family, passed away, and the loss weighed heavily on us all. This pivotal moment demonstrated how vital the connection to those we love really is. Yet, it also highlighted the chasm deepening between my sister and me. Despite the heartache and grief that enveloped us, we remained distant, as if the walls we had erected were impenetrable, even in the face of sorrow that could have compelled a reconciliation. In the months that followed, as my own family began to adapt to life without Dad, my thoughts occasionally drifted back to my sister, back to everything we had failed to resolve. But the stubborn remnants of our estrangement kept me from reaching out. And likewise, there appeared to be no olive branch extended from her end either. As my mom's 60th birthday approached, an idea blossomed in my mind. My wife and I resolved to honor my mom by gathering the family once more, given the recent loss we had endured. Our aim was to celebrate her journey and usher in a new year full of hope and healing. We decided to host a small family dinner at our home, a cozy and intimate setting where we anticipated laughter, warmth, and the reinforcing of family ties. However, despite the ostensible progress towards rekindling familial connections, one seat at the table remained unreserved, the one belonging to my sister. We wrestled with the decision, yet ultimately concluded that extending an invitation could only reignite old flames of discord that neither my wife nor I were willing to confront. Thus, our vision of reconciliation was curtailed before it could truly unfold. When my mom realized my sister hadn't been invited, she approached me with a gentle yet persistent plea. She questioned whether the family dinner could truly be complete without her daughter's presence. Her words were filled with a mother's concern, a mix of longing and hope that maybe, at long last, the ties could be mended. She asked, quite simply, that I reconsider the invitation. My initial response was swift and definitive. I stood by the decision, explaining that my wife felt uncomfortable with the idea of having my sister at our home or around our children. It was more than just a guest list convenience. It was about maintaining an environment where my wife felt secure and at ease, particularly in our own home. Yet, I could sense the disappointment in my mom's eyes, layered with a hint of frustration. Pressing gently but firmly, my mom expressed her desire to have both of her children by her side on such a significant occasion. She spoke of the shared history, the memories that only siblings know, and how this birthday was not just a celebration of another year, but a testament to the family's resilience after our dad's passing. Her voice wavered as she made an astonishing ultimatum, suggesting that if both her children couldn't be present to celebrate her special day together, she would rather forgo the dinner party altogether. Her words hung heavy in the air, a testament to the divide that persisted despite the passage of time and the monumental changes life had thrown our way. She wasn't being spiteful. Rather, it seemed as though she was holding on to a vision of her family coming together, even if just for an evening. This unexpected turn in the plan left me momentarily stunned. After careful consideration, weighing the options and pressures from all sides, I finally honored her wish and chose to cancel the dinner. The weight of this decision pressed upon our hearts, signaling not only another familial rift, but also a deep chasm of misunderstood intentions. Yet, my resolve to prioritize my wife's comfort and maintain the established boundaries remained unwavering, even if it meant another missed opportunity for healing. Initially, I hoped for understanding, but as soon as I informed my wife about the canceled event, her reaction was swift and laden with frustration. My wife's anger was palpable, a simmering tension that hinted at deeper concerns and feelings of betrayal. She felt the effort she had put into planning and preparing was utterly disregarded, and her stance was clear. She would no longer go out of her way to bridge the gap with my mother. Her words carried a sting, laced with hurt and disappointment over what she perceived as my mom's priorities. In her eyes, my mom had chosen to prioritize the contentious sibling relationship over her grandchildren's presence, something that my wife found hard to digest. She saw it as a slap in the face, a rejection of her intentions to honor and celebrate my mom in the best way we knew how. The dinner, which had originally been a gesture of love and family unity, now seemed to symbolize a deeper discord, where old grievances outshone new possibilities for reconciliation. My wife and I share a fundamental belief in family solidarity that despite differences, there should be a willingness to celebrate each other's milestones, especially in the aftermath of losing a loved one. However, the clash between these ideals and reality was becoming all too clear. It wasn't merely about an invitation or a dinner, but an underlying strain that had been simmering beneath the surface for years. In our conversation, my wife expressed her frustration fervently, her voice tinged with emotion as she articulated her feelings of exclusion from familial decisions. My attempt to shield her from discomfort was interpreted as a way to marginalize her role in family dynamics, adding another layer to the already complex web of relationships. As the tension settled over us, I found myself caught between the responsibilities towards my wife and my yearning to fulfill my mother's wishes. However unreasonable they seemed, this internal struggle mirrored the larger question of how far we are willing to go to mend fractured family bonds, and whether some bridges, once burned, can ever be restored without reigniting old fires. I vented about the situation to one of my cousins, sharing my inner turmoil and the strain between honoring my wife's comfort and my mother's plea. My cousin, someone I thought would sympathize, offered a perspective that caught me off guard. He told me quite bluntly that I should have just invited my sister for the sake of our mother's happiness, suggesting that an old grudge was not worth tainting such a milestone birthday. His words lingered, echoing a sentiment that I hadn't fully acknowledged, that perhaps I was letting past bitterness overshadow present harmony. My cousin's advice was a reality check of sorts, causing me to reflect on the true cost of unresolved family tensions. It forced me to reevaluate whether my actions were in the best interest of familial peace, or if they inadvertently perpetuated the cycle of discord I so desperately wanted to break. This left me in contemplation, trying to navigate the tangled emotions and the history that led us here, pondering if a path of reconciliation remained within reach.